What's up, guys? Welcome back to my podcast, Relationship Talk Unfiltered podcast with Prophet Eneh. I'm super excited to have you guys tuning in today to listen to our episode 4, I guess. Yeah. So this is episode 4 of our podcast, and I have a very interesting topic that I discovered that I have not actually talked about. I haven't really thought about this topic. So I know that it's like the first time, but I know you'll be learning so much. So what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about how to build or rebuild trust in relationships and marriages, because we know that any relationship that has no trust or has trust issue is as good as dead. So I'm super excited. But before we go on, I would like to encourage you guys. If you have not checked out our last week episode where I had a guest, we talked about struggles Christians face in their relationship, or struggles Christians face generally when it comes to dating, and means or how to actually deal with those things and the way out to those things. So I'll encourage you to go check it out and let it bless you. But then do that after you have watched this episode. And for today, I would like also to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on other podcast platform, I will encourage you to subscribe and rate us 5-star if you're learning so much. And on YouTube, do well to like this thing, share with your friends so that they will learn too, because it's essential that at least every one of us that's building healthy relationship and building trust in our relationships. Yeah, since we're talking about trust today, so let's use that. So going into today's topic, I would like to start with a story. So earlier today, I read a story about a lady who had her traditional marriage and some other traditional rites, and during that period she eventually went home to the man's house, to the man's village or something like that, for some kind of occasion, I don't know. And she saw two male child, that one of the uncles asked them to go into the house and greet their father. So she became suspicious. Who are these children to the man I want to get married to? And she started asking questions. So she went ahead to ask the supposed fiancé or the husband to be about the paternity of these children. Who is their father? Where they're from? And all this stuff. So the man eventually told her that the children belong to his elder brother who is dead. So he's taking charge, he's taking responsibility of these children. But she wasn't really satisfied. She felt like something was off. So she went ahead, based on the story, she went ahead and asked the guy for like 15 times in different occasions, who are these kids? Who are they? And the man keeps saying they are his brother's kids. So she eventually gave in, and well, she kept being suspicious though, but she wasn't totally sure. So a day came when she saw these kids' passports and they were bearing the same surname as the man, which makes sense that if it's the brother's kids, they probably have the same surname. But she also asked, like, who are these kids? And the young man said again that they are his brother kids. Well, they all decided to die the case and move on with their marriage plans. So eventually they got married. And on the night of their wedding, this man knelt down and opened up to tell this young lady that those kids were his. How sad. How sad. Like, when I listen to this kind of stories, I keep wondering, like, how do people think that they can build a healthy relationship based on lies? Like, how will you say you love somebody and you lie to them about this? And funny enough, the man's excuse was that the lady said earlier on in their relationship that she doesn't want to settle down with somebody who already has a child. So the man felt it's wise enough in his own mindset or thoughts to keep this kind of information out or away from this lady. I felt like, didn't he feel like the truth will probably come out someday? What was he thinking about that? Eventually, I know the plan was that, yeah, after my wedding I would tell her, then, well, we're already married, she would deal with it. But here's the thing, what this man doesn't really understand is that the fact that this lady is now seeking advice on what to do, because she couldn't get her, she still can't get herself to forgive this man. They are living together in this house because they are married, but she can't trust the man. I think she said they are living in separate rooms right now. They are living like strangers. The family, and she begged her not to tell her family, and she eventually told her family, because this is too much. It's actually too much. So she told her family, and now families are involved. The family doesn't want to the girl to continue. The girl's father has already asked her to leave the husband's house, pack out, and come back home, because the marriage was built on lie, on deception. So why I'm telling all these stories, because when you look at this, trust has been broken, which could have been avoided. Trust has been broken. Now they have to rebuild this trust if they're ever going to ever have this marriage again. If this marriage is going to last, they have to rebuild trust. And this is why I'm bringing this, so that you can learn, in case you're in a situation where you have breached the trust your partner has for you, or maybe you want to start a relationship, you want to build that trust. That's why I'm bringing this podcast to you today. But then when I look back at that story, it bothers me so much why people lie to get into a relationship or to get married, knowing fully well that the truth will eventually come out. And when the truth come out, it takes God's grace, seriously, to be able to forgive somebody and to continue that kind of marriage. So aside building trust today, I just want to encourage you out there listening to me right now. Don't go into a relationship lying. Don't start your relationship on lies. Don't start your marriages on lies. If somebody will leave you because you are saying the truth about who you are or what you have done in the past, let them go. Let them do whatever they want to do. Let them go for whoever they want to go for. But don't put yourself in that position that you start your relationship with lies, because what lies does to you is that it puts trust issues in your partner's mind, that they cannot trust you. And once the trust is gone, the relationship is dead. You might still physically be in that relationship, but both of you will be useless in that relationship or in that marriage. So don't start with lie. Be honest at all times, so that your partner can trust you. So another story, but this one is a very short one. It's a very short one. So a guy messaged me some day ago after writing. After I taught in a group, he was like, "Oh, that his relationship, that the girl has trust issues because he eventually was not honest about the financial aspect of his life." Not like the girl was asking, but like, yeah, I believe they had like a kind of relationship, or a relationship leading to marriage, where they decided to be honest with each other. But this young man decided to lie about his finance. So I guess that's causing trust issues. So the girl can no longer trust him that much. So he's looking for what to do. And one thing I told him is that, well, you have done something bad, but then it requires two of you to work it out. So one thing I would like to let us know from this short story is that for any relationship that wants to build trust, it has to take the both persons involved to rebuild that trust. First, from you who broke the trust. So you have to put in more work to ensure that you give that person a reason to trust you again. And for the other person, you have to come to that point of forgiveness and trying not to use whatever they did before to punish them for the good they are trying to do now. So it requires two people, just like every relationship requires two people to work it out to make sure that it works. So I believe this story has given us a background to what we are talking about today. And I would like to also say this, because I've discovered that so many relationships or so many people that have trust issue, sometimes it's not a direct thing from the person that they are in a relationship with right now. It could be some relationship they have been in the past that make them have trust issues. So when they are coming into a new relationship, even though this young man or this young woman has not even done anything that will show that they can be trusted, these people still have trust issues. So these are the things we want to talk about today, and how to deal with some of these things, so you can even help that person. Why some people in their relationship, they are the one that broke the trust, just like we have talked about already. So this can happen in different situation and different format, different way. You get the gist. So I would like to give us some steps that will help you to build or rebuild trust in your relationship if you are in any of these categories that we have talked about today. So the first thing I would say that will help you to rebuild trust or to build trust in your relationship is building a healthy communication pattern. We have discovered that in so many relationships today, even in just friendship, communication is very, very essential. It's very, very important. But not a lot of people know how to communicate right. Some people just talk. They just talk, but they don't really communicate. They talk, they hear things, but they don't really pay attention. So I usually say there are two different kind of talks that exist in communication. The first kind of talk is the talk that has to do with general things. No, it's not that important. Maybe it could be talking about politics. People are just saying stuff. Nobody's emotion is involved. It's just random conversations, just talk. But then there's this other kind of talk that has to do with emotions, where you guys are actually talking about what concerns you. So in the first kind of talk, we can just say things and just brush it off and move ahead. But in the other kind of talk, the second kind of talk, you have to pay close attention to what is being said, how it's being said, and what the person is trying to communicate. Because we have a lot of people today who go into relationships and their partner is trying to communicate a deep emotion that's about something they're not happy about in their relationship. But then you discover that the other person waters it down like it's nothing. And sometimes, even when the other person is listening, they're just listening to respond, not to understand their partner's mindset or perspective about whatever they are talking about. So it's very, very important that if you're in a relationship and you want to build communication, that you pay attention when your partner is talking. Understand their perspective. Try to take yourself out of the equation for a moment and understand what they are trying to say as a person, how it affects them before you can respond the right way. Because what I've discovered is that when people don't communicate healthily in their relationship, they make room for assumptions. And once assumption enters a relationship, man, that relationship will suffer, because I say it, assumption is the worst form of knowledge. When you don't communicate right with your partner, you give them room to make assumptions in their head, and they'll now be thinking, what is he doing? What is he up to? What's she up to? And stuff like that. And before you know it, they'll take decisions or think that that's what you are trying to say. So assumptions is not good. So to eliminate assumption, you have to communicate. To build trust, you have to communicate. So communication is very, very important. I have a series on YouTube where I talked about communication in depth, different kind of communication patterns, healthy communications, unhealthy communications. So you can check that out. It's a series. I think there's a playlist on my YouTube channel that has that playlist, so you can check it out on how you can build healthy communication in your relationship. And I'm thinking on a very good day, I will also make an exclusive episode on communication so that we can also talk about it more in depth, because communication is a very, very big topic. It's something that everybody craves, but not everybody knows how to do. So it's very, very big. Let me just give you this. If you want to build a healthy communication, quick tip: learn how to speak with understanding. Learn how to listen to understand, not to respond. Learn how to say what's on your mind. Don't avoid uncomfortable conversations. Have those difficult conversations that you think will break your relationship. Have those conversations, because if you don't, it will create room for you not to trust each other. When you build communication, it doesn't create gap for anybody to make assumption, which leads to loss of trust in that relationship. The second way to build trust or rebuild trust is to build consistency. What is consistency? It's being able to do things over time that your partner recognizes that, okay, this person is there for me. This person will be there for me. When you show up at all time for your partner, it shows that you are really into that person, and they won't have any reason to distrust you. You understand what I'm saying? So for example, somebody who has trust issue, if you keep showing up to the point that they see, oh, my partner will keep showing up for me, then they won't doubt you. They won't say, oh, he won't. So consistency is very, very important. I've seen so many people, even before getting into relationships, so many ladies will be like, this guy is not consistent. He's here today, he's gone tomorrow. I can't really get hold of him because he's not consistent. So it's very, very important to build consistency, because consistency helps improve trust in your relationship. When you say you will do this and you actually follow through to do it, it shows consistency. Because there are a lot of people in a relationship, they will say they will do this, but they won't do it. Their word doesn't match their actions. Their words are far, their actions are far. But to be able to build trust, to be able to build consistency in your relationship, you have to come to that point where your words and your actions are in alignment at all times. If you say you will come here or you are going there, you are there. You understand what I'm saying? If you say you will make it, you will make it. And even when you say you will make it and then you decide to make it, you leave a message that, okay, I'll try, I'll make it, something like that. So always make sure that your words and your actions are consistent. That's one way to build consistency in your relationship, and that will improve trust in your relationship. Another importance of consistency is that it builds commitment. So it shows that you are committed to that relationship. I know a lot of people struggle with commitment when it comes to relationship. They are scared to commit and stuff like that. But here's the thing: when you're consistent, it helps the person to see how committed you are. So that's one of the importance. And when someone sees how committed you are to them or to the relationship, it helps build the trust in the relationship. So if you're somebody who has trust issue going on in your relationship, maybe it's from your partner, they have trust issue for you. One thing you want to do is to be consistent to the point that they see your commitments to that relationship. You want to be consistent to the point that they see, oh, this person is really into me. They really want this relationship. Another thing is it provides emotional security. Yes, we are human beings and we are emotional beings. So yes, when we fall in love, when we love somebody, we want to feel some level of security around the people we are in love with, that we can depend on them and stuff like that. So when you actually try your best to build consistency, it helps secure the person who you are with. It helps them know that, oh, okay, this person actually cares so much about me and I feel secured in putting my trust, my emotions on this person. I hope you get that. So another thing is that it also helps build intimacy too. So there are so many things consistency does for you. Once you are consistent in your relationship, you keep showing up. It shows your commitment. It shows everything about you, who you are. So the next point we'll be looking at today is respect. If you want to build trust, you have to be respectful. And respect is not about age. It's not about status. This is one mistake that a lot of people make. Yeah, I know that we always say men want respect. Women want respect too. Everybody deserves some level of respect from you, no matter how old they are to you, no matter how elderly you are, or no matter how young you are. I know there is this thing about people that makes them feel like, as long as I'm the elder person in this situation, this person needs to respect me. No, nobody deserves to be disrespected. No matter the age. That's why I have a lot of issue with women who say that they will lose their respect or they will be disrespectful towards their husband if they are older than the man. No, the problem is not the man or his age. The problem is that you as a person, you are a disrespectful human being. Respect has nothing to do with age. So if you feel like you will not respect your husband because you are older than him, if you feel like you will not respect his leadership because you are older than him, then you as a person, you lack respect. That is your bad character. It's not him. It's not his age. So respect is very, very important when it comes to building trust. When you show somebody that you respect them, it helps them to believe in you. I don't know if that makes sense. That respect you are showing them helps them to trust you, that you have a good character. Yeah, it does. So you must come to that point where you respect people. You respect who you are in a relationship with, no matter who the person is, a male, female. Respect the person. Respect wasn't designed for men alone. Women needs to be respected too, even though you are the head of the home. So when you respect the person you are with, it helps improve the trust in the relationship. Because when you disrespect people, actually, what it does is that it breaks the trust, in the sense that they will not feel comfortable telling you things. They will feel afraid coming to you. Like, you give them a vibe that makes them not want to associate with you. Disrespect, it's a red flag. It's a red flag, and it doesn't help your situation when it comes to trust. So when people tell you they don't want this, they don't like this, respect them. Respect their decisions. Respect what they are trying to tell you they're not comfortable with. That's how you build trust. But for example, if you don't respect their decisions, if you don't respect what they tell you they don't like, and you keep doing it, it shows that you don't care, and it will break the trust in the relationship. So learn to respect whoever you're in a relationship with. Then the next point is dependability. Are you dependable? Can the person that you're in a relationship depend on you? This is what will help you improve trust too, or rebuild trust. You should be that kind of person your partner can depend on. You know, all these things that we are preaching, independent woman, independent man, blah blah blah, all those things shouldn't matter in marriage. It shouldn't even matter in relationship. The world wasn't designed in such a way that we become independent. No, that was not God's plan. All this independent woman crap, I don't know. The world wasn't designed that way. God didn't make us to be independent. God wanted us to depend on each other. That's the way the world was designed. If we are supposed to be in a world where we don't depend on people, then there will no point to need anybody. But we, at every point in our life, we need somebody. So there's nothing like independence. you never gain independence. You keep depending on people. You keep depending. So even in your marriage, you keep depending on your spouse. You're supposed to be depending on each other. That's the design of marriage. God says it is not good for a man to be alone. He needs a helper, somebody to depend on. And the woman coming in is coming to depend on the man for some things. So the idea of I am an independent woman, I don't need a man, I don't need it doesn't work. It's just you being ignorant, not knowing the purpose of marriage, not knowing the purpose of relationship. The purpose of these things are supposed to bring two people who have discovered themselves to work together, to become one and depend on each other. So I'm asking you, if you want to build trust in your relationship, are you dependable? Can your partner depend on you to come through for them? Can they depend on you to help them take care of some certain things? Or you are the kind of person when they tell you to do something, you have to procrastinate for 5 years before you do it? Because these are things that break trust in relationship. Your partner cannot depend on you to get something done. They cannot depend on you to come through when you said you will come through. So you have to go back and ask yourself, am I a dependable partner? Can my partner depend on me in certain things? And if you can depend on your partner should be able to depend on you. So let's forget all this independent stuff. Let's forget it. We all need each other. Like I know, I was watching a video the other day. They said, women are the prize. Some are saying men are the prize. See, there's nobody's the prize anything. Nobody is the prize. We all need each other. If we don't need each other, then God wouldn't make us to want to be with each other. Men need women, women need men. So we should be able to depend on ourselves. And when we do this, it helps build trust. Your partner should depend on you. Yeah, I keep saying this over and over again, but that's what it is. It's what it is. So the next point is transparency. I don't know if I should be even expanding on this. You know what transparency is? Someone said intimacy means intimacy. Meaning that your partner should be able to see through you, not just based on what you say, but based on what you do too. How transparent are you in your relationship? You cannot tell me that you want to rebuild trust or you want to build trust in your relationship and you are keeping secrets and you are hiding things and you're making your partner figure things out from third parties. No. Like the story I told you earlier, the man wasn't transparent. He wasn't. In a relationship that will work, you have to come to that point where you are so transparent to the point that there is no secret. You have to come to that point where if I hear something outside tomorrow about my partner, I will say, no, that can't be my partner. She didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. And you stand by your word, she didn't do it. And when the truth comes out, at the end of the day, she didn't do it or he didn't do it. Because both of you have built transparency over the years that you know what your partner is capable of doing. Your partner should know your every step, not because they are trying to monitor you, not because they are trying to be a security or whatever, but because you want to come to that point where both of you know each other to the point that there is no confusion. When many people actually struggle, when people are talking about trust in relationship, this is actually the main point. Like, this transparency is actually the real issue, or this transparency, it's what will be the game changer for you if you want to rebuild trust or build trust. Especially if you are the person who broke the trust, you want to make yourself work out that situation where at every point in time your partner knows your whereabouts. It's not about monitoring, like I said. It's about showing them that they can trust you. Oh, babe, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to this shop to get stuff. And eventually, maybe you decide not to go again. You leave them a text. Oh, I decided to go to this place instead. It's not because they are not secure per se, but because you want to keep a level of transparency. You don't want to create doubt in their mind, because people have seen so many issues in relationships today that a lot of people, they say, my partner said he's going here, but later on I found him here. He said he's traveling to the village to be with his parents or be with her parents, but eventually she went to Abuja to be with a man or something like that. No, that won't help you. It won't help you build trust if you're not being transparent. So if you decide to go to Abuja to go and see your parents or maybe your brother, and eventually you change your mind to go to Ibadan or to go to, depending on your location, New York, wherever, you decide to change your mind on where you are going to, you should be able to let your partner know that, oh, this is why I'm changing my plan and this is where I'm heading to, so that they won't be wondering what's happening. Because these are the things that breed lies in relationship. That maybe you're an honest person. You actually didn't go to see any man or to see any woman to be unfaithful or whatever, but just because you changed location, it will make your partner feel, oh, he's not being honest with me, she's not being honest with me. Oh, who else knows the kind of lie they have told me in the past or stuff like that. It just brings up unnecessary suspicion. But if you are honest with what you're doing or where you're going or whatever, it helps the person to trust you. So this is very, very important. This is like the core thing about building trust in relationship that will help you so much. So let's move on to the next point. The next point will be forgiveness. So eventually, if somebody, like I said earlier, if somebody offends you, it takes two to work a relationship out. Yeah, the person on the other hand will try to be transparent to rebuild the trust, but you on the other hand that has trust issue, you have to start to heal, to forgive, and to give people a clean slate. Especially if you are coming from a previous relationship where you had trust issue, you have to come into the new relationship giving the person the benefit of doubt, giving them a clean slate, because they shouldn't be suffering for the traumas your ex caused you. If you think that you are not ready for a relationship, that you still have trust issue, just stay single. But if you have decided to get into a relationship, make sure you are giving the person you are about getting into a relationship a clean slate until they show you that they can be trusted. You get my point? So you have to come to that point where you learn how to forgive, how to let go of those things that happened in the past. Yes, I know it's very hard. I'm not saying it's easy. But then if you actually want to rebuild trust, then you have to come to that point where you learn how to forgive. You understand what I'm saying? The next point for today is time. Time. It will take time. Let me be honest with you. It will take time. Because when trust is broken, it will take time to be rebuilt. Or when you want to build trust with somebody new too, it will take time. Because they are trying to get to know you. It's a process. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It will take time. So be patient, and allow time to play its course. I know at some point you might get tired. You might want to, oh, can't we just fix this immediately? No. That's the thing about building. When you want to build things, it will take you time. A building, a structure, it takes months, years to erect a structure, but it can take a day to pull it down. So it can take you a very long period of time to build a relationship, and it can take you just one single day to shelter everything. So when it comes to building trust, it will take you time to build trust, and it can take you a day to destroy that trust. So you also have to be careful. So give it time. Give yourself time to build it. Don't try to rush the process, because when you rush the process, you might miss out on important things that will probably come back to haunt you. A house that is being erected so quick that it doesn't meet the necessary requirement has a lot of tendencies to collapse later on its own. When so many things attack it, the pressures of life, wind, so many things attack it to crumble. So if you rush that process of building your trust in your relationship, it might eventually crumble when some other things happen. So you must give it time. And I believe that when you give it time, everything will work out. Trust is very, very important. It's very, very fragile. You must care for it. Don't give your partner the reason to doubt you. I know. Don't give them the reason to doubt you. I know you are pushed. You are seeing that opposite gender and you are liking the other girl. Don't allow that girl to destroy what you have spent years building with your partner. Don't allow that man to destroy what you have spent years building with your partner. Don't lie. Don't start your relationship with lies. Start with the truth. If they will leave you because of the truth, let them go. Trust is very, very important. So let's do a little recap. So to build trust or to rebuild trust in your relationship, you have to build communication in your relationship. You have to build consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to show them over and over again that you care. You have to build respect. Respect each other. You have to be a dependable person. Your partner should be able to depend on you at all time. Yes, at all time. I know sometimes we feel like it shouldn't be all time. Yeah, they should be able, as long as you say you're in a relationship, they should be able to depend on you. And when you can't meet their that level or where they can depend on you, then there should be adjustment, there should be compromise, there should be things that you can talk about and reach a meeting point. Yeah. So the next thing is that you have to build transparency. You have to be an open book to each other. That's the right word. You have to be an open book to each other. No hiding of anything, no secrets. Yes, no secrets. Especially when you want to get married. No secrets. Don't get married with secrets. Yeah. Then you have to learn how to forgive. Forgiveness is so important. And then you must give it time. You must give it time. You must give it time. Time is of a great essence. I hope you understand this. So, building trust is not the easiest, but it's possible. And it requires both of you to actually put in the work to make it work. So I believe that this video has blessed you today, and if you learned from this video, I will encourage you to do well to hit the subscribe button for my YouTube channel if you are watching on my YouTube channel, and also subscribe to my podcast platform. Rate this video, like this video, share with your friends, share with your partner, listen to it together so that you can be able to build this trust, rebuild this trust, and enjoy the best relationship ever. I hope this video keeps being a blessing to you. Thank you for staying tuned, and see you in the next episode.